because of, and I think especially if you're in the house of Bhakti. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jata Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Bhachalam Bhango Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamahang Vande Sri Gurun Dinatarinam Nindantam Pulakotkarena Vigasam Nipa Prasunachtivim Prodrikritva Bhujadvayam Hari Hari Ituchai Dantam Muhu Nrittantam Dutam Asru Nirjara Chaye Sinchantam Urvitalam Gayantam Nija Parasadai Parivritam Sri Gaura Chandram Nama Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Hemavadivyachtavisundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Yes, Prabhu.
Dhanyavad Maharaj. We have a question from Dhananjaya Prabhu, Russia.
Yeah.
Dhanyavad Maharaj, my obeisance to all the devotees. What sort of feelings does Lord Jagannath experience when he is forcibly taken out of Gundicha temple?
So he's asking me because I'm the person who would have the audacity to answer that question. Well, this and other questions arise, but I would say they arise in the hearts and minds of devotees, hearing Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam or revealed truth, some particular thing is being given, and then sometimes some questions arise in the mind as a consequence to what has been heard. And this is something that we all deal with from time to time. And you could say, I choose to emphasize that in the words of Kaviraj Goswami, but you'll find this thematically present in the Bhagavatam and elsewhere, even in Bhagavad Gita, other places. It seems like a very simple statement, as if he's saying, oh, my dear devotees, now hear what I'm about to tell you. But if you look in the Bengali, you'll see words like Shraddha, Kori, or things indicating with like rapt attention, exclusive focus, and with all of your faith, you know, from the deep heart's core. And there's a particular way things are represented, and it will serve us best to focus on that, what has been presented. So, and as I say, legitimate questions can arise in response to that. But if we search there in what has been expressed, we may find the answers to these questions. Right? So, at the conclusion of the Madhya Lila, there's this beautiful, almost impassioned plea from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to the readers of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And if we recall, at the beginning of the Madhya Lila, which there's a contrast between Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And repeatedly, he is always consistently offering his obeisances to Vrindavan Das Thakur, the Vyas of Chaitanya Lila. But in one place, Guru Maharaj said, then Krishnadas is the Sukadev. To Vrindavan Das is Vyasadeva, then he's Sukadev. Yeah. And Srila Gurudev in his poetry, he wrote as Mahaprabhu was like the Chana avatar, then he said the Chana Vyas, hidden Vyas. And so we're giving so much praise to Kaviraj Goswami, but we can't help but notice the effusive praise towards Krishna, toward Vrindavan Das Thakur. And he's saying that what he's described extensively, for me to do the same, there's no cause for that. And why would I do that? That would be impertinent on my part. He said, so certain things that he's mentioned, I'll just reference them, or in a summary form, or very succinctly. But certain things that he's not described, for fear of his book becoming voluminous, or for whatever reason, then those things I will address. But, so in a sense, he's sort of downplaying what he is offering. But we come to understand, by the grace of our Guru Varga, that really he's revealing the internal reason for the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's not, in a sense, just some pastimes that couldn't be included for fear of the book becoming larger, or, I mean, that's a very nice way to put it. But he's giving not only something equally substantial, but in this context, even more substantial, because it's going to the internal reason for the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is revealed in the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And after this wonderful introduction, of which the verse we're saying, Bandeham Sri Guru, that's the first verse of the Antya-lila, which is also introduction. But explaining who's Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, the Panchatattva, Advaita Acharya, how we should understand the Guru, the necessity of embracing a plurality of Gurus, Bande Gurun, Isha Bhaktan, Ishan, Ishavatarakam. And so many wonderful things. But in very succinctly summary form, the birth of Mahaprabhu, childhood pastimes. Then when it comes to the Madhya Lila, saying this is the beginning of what distinguishes Charitamritam from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, and that the Chaitanya Bhagavat goes up to the sannyas of Mahaprabhu, and then mysteriously stops with the pastime of the Jagannath and Baladev slapping Pundarik Vidyanidhi for, in essence, chastising the local servitors for offering starch cloth to Jagannath. No, you should wash out the starch and make it nice and soft. And they're slapping him, and he wakes up, his cheeks are swollen, and it just stops there, as if to more than suggest that, to be continued. Right? If it had concluded in some other way, you might draw another idea. But the way it stops there, it's really saying there's more to come, and future vyas, like that. So when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami comes to the beginning of the Madhya Lila, he's saying actually he's covered the Adi Lila extensively there, and what I'm dealing with is really the Shesh Lila, the final pastimes. And they're divided into two, Madhya Lila, Antya Lila. But as a whole, it's the Shesh Lila, the final pastimes, the concluding pastimes. And as we recall, he says how astonishing it is to him that what's passing through him onto the pages, or the palm leaves, as it were, saying that he's in his 90s, his hands are arthritic, he's legally blind, and the greatest literature to have ever seen the light of day in all time, all space, and all creations is flowing through his pen. And he's saying, but some higher power is moving my hand. Madan Gopal, Madan Mohan is making me write these things, which is astonishing. But again, Krishnadas's humility has achieved such a depth, I termed it, a superconductor of negativity, of humility in this case, that we could say with absolute certainty that Madan Gopal, Madan Mohan, it is not irrelevant whom the agent is through such divine substance is passing, but rather someone who is so wholly one that it's seamless, it's transparent. Jagai madhai hoite muise papishta purisharakito hoite muise lagista. Such depth of humility. I'm more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. I'm lower than the worm in the stool. Guru said, on the one hand, expressing such humility, such negativity, and then saying, but what I'm telling you here, there's nothing higher than this. But it is not I. Madan Mohan is causing these things to be expressed. So he says, in consideration of his condition, that I might not be able to express everything. It's not a given. Sometimes we take these things for granted. And we think, oh, he knows. No, he doesn't. He's saying, I may leave the world before expressing what was gifted to me from Swarup Damodar through Raghunath Das Goswami, and Swarup Damodar being the secretary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu Dutiya Kalevar, Mahaprabhu II, his other self, the Bhavanurup of the heart of, Lalita Saki, Radharani's right hand friend. And so, who witnessed everything, and behind closed doors with Swarup Damodar, and there's only and Raghunath Das nearby, his secretary, his assistant. So Raghunath is fully gifted with everything. Raghunath Das Goswami, Guru is saying, the best student in the Rupanuga line. Why? Because he says, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu, Mayi Katanchit Kalo Mayati Gamita Kila Sampratamhi, Tvam Chet Kripa Mayi Vidasha Shinaiva Kimme, Prane Brajena Chaboro Rubakarenapi. So our ultimate concern, prayojan, is in Radha Dasyam, service of the holy lotus feet of Radharani, and she with Krishna. But her lotus feet, the service of her holy lotus feet, is our exclusive focus. He's spelling it out so clear. This isn't something to be only extracted after character. He's telling it there very clearly, emphatically, imploringly, as a matter of life and death. That without this prospect, what is the value of my life? And what's more valuable than my life? Vrindavan. And it's a shameless thing to say, but Krishna, what is Krishna to me without you? Guru said, direct prayer to Srimati Radharani. Right? And if someone said, well, what about Guru? She's the Ujjvala Rasa Acharya. Guru is her delegation. So, Kaviraj Goswami, the fit receiver of the full wealth of Srup Damodar and Raghunath Das Goswami, who are there, the diarist, chroniclers, again, of the final pastimes of Mahaprabhu, and even what took place behind closed doors. It could only come in this way. And all the devotees of Vrindavan, who we're told are regular hearers of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat from Haridas Pandit, where it's described, he is like, imagine all these Maha Bhagavatas. This is no ordinary class. All Maha Bhagavatas, and then Haridas Pandit there at the Madan Mohan temple, singing Chaitanya Bhagavat to the delight, the nourishment of all these Paramahansa Vaishnavas. And what is it described? Saying he was like they were like so many stars, and he appeared to be the moon with rivers of nectar descending from the moon. Right? So beautiful. And at his behest, and the behest of all those devotees, and including Lokanath Goswami, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, and the deity Madan Gopal himself, and he's saying, sanctioning that Krishnadas will be the medium of expression of these divine pastimes. Still, he's saying, I may not live that long. I'm astonished at what I'm able to do. So in the beginning of the Madhya Lila, he gives a synopsis, or he includes there the verses that will reveal all these things. In one chapter, there's Srila Gurudev, and I've mentioned he could sing the entire chapter, and did on more than a few occasions. He would just start and then just keep going, and it was a delight and a wonderful opportunity and great fortune to be there, just spontaneously coming out of his heart. And Guru Maharaj extracted so many things from there, and that's where we hear that they're really original expressions of Srimati Radharani, but coming from the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? As we heard recently in the Rath Yatra, not everyone knows why Prabhu is singing this way or expressing these things. Right? It's actually astonishing. And I'll mention that in a moment, at the end of Madhya Lila. So here he's saying, so I may not get there that far or survive, live that long. So here it is in a chapter. That's why that is very important. Read, and there's no prema gandhasti dharapi mehuro krandami sobhagya varam prakashitam. I haven't got a scent of the fragrance of Krishna Prem, what to speak of a drop of that divine substance. How can anyone who lays any claim at all to being an aspiring servitor in this line express more than that or less than that? He is mirroring the heart of Radharani, saying, I don't have a scent of the fragrance of Krishna Prem. What to speak of a drop of that divine substance? You know, this is my bad fortune. What else? And Nam Nama Kari Bhavana Sarvita Nima Taksmana Etadrashi Tavakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdevam Idrisam Yahajani Nanuraga. Same with Shikshastakam. It's mirroring the sentiments of her heart and says, Durdevam, that means bad luck, misfortune. Such wonderful prospect is there. There's something wrong with me. That I'm unfit to receive it or to appreciate it. Na anurag. Right. This is, in a sense, an open secret. It is through this sort of culture to come in connection with the genuine substance of Krishna consciousness. Not, as I say, voyeuristically envisioning oneself as a super servitor and the ostentatious display of achievement, never from the genuine devotees, only from either neophytes or posers, sahajya imitationists. If Radharani herself speaks this way, and then those sentiments are mirrored in the heart of Mahaprabhu and echoed, how can we go in any other way than that? Right? So Guru Maharaj would say, the depth of negativity reveals the wealth of the devotee, as in Kaviraj Goswami. So, and negativity here he equates with humility. Under the influence of humanistic sloganeering and so-called New Age thinking and self-help, people think it's always negativity is a bad thing. Here we're seeing the glories of negativity, right? From an impartial analysis, we see the benefits of positive, neutral, negative. They're there. We see how they work. And together it brings illumination. Right? And positive is attracted to negative. Krishna being the supreme positive, Srimati Radharani, the supreme negative. He's irresistibly drawn to her. And all of those in her line express such depth and magnitude of negativity that Krishna cannot conceal himself from them. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santaksa Deva Hriday Shivalokayanti Yang Shama Sundaram Achinta Guna Swarupam. He has an Achinta Guna Swarup, but can be seen with pramic eyes. As he told Ramananda, when Ramananda, first they're sitting, Ramananda with the sannyasi, and he's saying, I'm no longer seeing a sannyasi. What are you saying? And you see Shama Sundar Krishna. He's saying, oh, we've heard of such great souls, the Mahabhagavatas, wherever they cast their glance, they see Krishna. And of course, you're casting your glance toward me, you're seeing Krishna. And Ramananda is saying, don't play with me like this, my Lord. I have something more to say. I'm not only seeing Krishna, something more you're seeing. I see that there's this golden girl enveloping Krishna. What is this? She's completely enveloped him. And that's what he said, Rasa Raj Mahabhav Duyakarup Ramananda. I cannot conceal myself from your pramic eyes, your loving eyes. Yes, whom you see is Rasa Raj Krishna, enveloped Radha Bhava Duty Subalita. And Guru Maharaj would say, see how they mingle. And Ramananda fainted. So, these wonderful slokas are there. And then, having given that chapter, and just the one Guru Maharaj drew our attention to him saying where Radharani from the Jagannath Ballava Natak of Ramananda. Remember, behind closed doors, Ramananda Swarup Damodar. One verse in there, what is he saying? Swapna Kale. She's saying that when I saw Krishna, she's lamenting. When I saw Krishna, I was attacked by two enemies. Ecstasy and, prem. And the ecstasy caused my eyes to flood with tears, and I couldn't see Krishna. It blurred the beauty of Krishna due to all the ecstatic symptoms. And then he vanished. She's saying, so I've thought about this deeply and carefully, and if I get the opportunity to see him again, and time, he vanished so quickly. So he said, what I will do is I will first worship time. So like time, the worshipable personality is put on a singhasan, and then offered so many different things, and the puja, and then when they're propitiated, and she's saying, so time, my request of you, you stay for some time. So she's talking in her divine madness of suspending time and saying, and then I will turn my attention to Krishna. How beautiful is that? That's coming from her heart. To stop time, for continuous Krishna, how do you say, consciousness. Hare Krishna. So, and many other things are given there. Also the Krishna Prem, Jambu Nadahim. It's saying, what Krishna Prem, and Guru Maharaj's words again, not a thing of this world. It's like the legendary rivers of gold in heaven. Jambu Nadahema. Right, we're told that. So you say, well, we have no experience of gold rivers in this world. Yes, it's not a thing of this world. It's a thing of another world. It doesn't mean because apparently it's not visible or manifest in this plane that it's not real or doesn't exist. It's just not a thing of this world. But there's another world. That's one of the examples he's giving too. And he's saying, in fact, because Krishna Prema is so high, so noble, so valuable, so divine, that once coming in connection with it, you can never be separated from it. You would have to die. So it's not a thing of this world. And we hear Radharani saying, I have this reputation as being not only devotee of Krishna, the greatest devotee of Krishna, but my lamentation is that I couldn't properly reciprocate with him and offer myself to him fully and to the degree of what he's giving to me. And what's worse is in the absence of Krishna, I still live and manage to show my face to others in this world. I don't have a scent of that divine substance, what to speak of a drop. These are the sort of things that he put in that chapter to tell us, here's what you need to understand, what is unique to this work and unique to the ecstatic emotional interior of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he does continue on, and so where Chaitanya Bhagavat left with the sannyas of Mahaprabhu, Charitamritam picks up and continues. And what do we find? That Mahaprabhu, Kahan Krishna Prananath Murali Badan, Kahan Karun Kahan Pan Brajendra Nandan. He's saying he can hardly wait for the sacrifice to finish, has kirtan with Kesava Bharati, and then he's running madly to Vrindavan. Right? The search for Sri Krishna, reality the beautiful. Hey Radhe Brajate Vike Chalalite Hey Nanda Shuno Kutaha. Prabhupada is saying, they're searching. Kutaha says, where are they? Not that I've got, not that I've found. But the search, the inquiry, Guru Maharaj said, not Brahma Jigyasa, that is a dry thing. He said, Rasa Jigyasa, that means Krishna conception. Rasa means Krishna. Right? The Bhagavatam is a literature that takes us from the domain of ontological jugglery and thing to the domain of rasa. Right? And so perfectly, so systematically. And we're told the 10th canto is the beautiful smiling face of Krishna. Right? As Bilva Mangal Thakur says in Karnamritam, Krishna is so sweet that Achintaguna Swarup is sweetness personified. But his face is even sweeter if you had to analyze. But then if he smiles, Maduram, Maduram, Madurasya Vibho, Madanam, Madanam, Maduram, Madugandhi, Mridu, Smita, Etaraho. Then if he smiles, Maduram, 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 sweet, 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 is the smiling face of Krishna. The 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Mahaprabhu madly running to Vrindavan. The gravitational pull of the hearts of the Navadvip Bhakta Vrinda, he can't break from that and is circling in a childlike state of divine ecstasy, but just searching for Krishna, thinking, I'm going to Vrindavan. Right? And then after some time, Advaita, Nityananda, they deceive him in a delightful way, take him to Shantipur, Advaita Acharya, and I've got you, you tried to escape. And now, and he sings a song of Radharani. That Madhava's in my house today. He went away to Mathura, now he's come back. That's his song, right? So then it's after Mother Sachi comes and they have this tearful reunion and she gives permission for him to stay in Puri. She knows if I ask you to stay, he said, Mother, this body belongs to you, whatever you say. I'm eternally in debt, I can never repay you. Whatever you tell me, I'll do. So for someone who must experience the heartbreak of separation, she cannot tolerate that any fault will come to him. Which she knows, if I say, stay with me, he'll actually do it, but then people will blame him. So she's saying, if you stay in Puri, then I'll get some news from the devotees coming and going. But see how all of this manifest wonderfully, because we know so many things will take place. So it's Mother Sachi who says, you can stay there. Right? And racing to Puri with his divine associates, as he gets closer, he can no longer control himself, and then he's running, And although before that, like we're told, what would take, say, 30 minutes takes 9 hours due to so many tears coming, ecstatic dancing, collapsing on the ground, like at every step of the way. But when he finally arrives and sees Jagannath, he sees Shyama Sundar Krishna, right? And faints. And that's why in the future, he knew if he gets too close, that will happen. So he'd stay by the Garuda Stamba and have darshan at a distance. So then we're told that Jagannath is Dwaraka Krishna. But why does Dwaraka Krishna appear in that form? Of so many other accounts we hear, Dwaraka Krishna very much resembles Krishna, Vrindavan, but not with those 4 aspects of sweetness. Sarvadbhuta chamatkara lila kalor vidaradi atulya mandala murali kalakujita asamanordva rupa sri vismapita charin, etc. The sweetness of Krishna and his Madhura Rasa pastimes of Vrindavan. Why is he appearing in this way? We're told that although he's always feeling separation from Radharani and Brajagopis, that once a year it becomes unbearable. And from one account of overhearing Rohini talking of the pastimes of Vrindavan, the separation is so intense that his arms are entering his body. Where else have we heard that? In the case of Mahaprabhu, that like a tortoise, his arms and legs are entering the body, he appears like a golden pumpkin. So his arms and legs entering his body, eyes becoming huge, and the stunned, ecstatic look. So, Radharani and Brajagopis, as I told, Rath Yatra is a celebration, really, of the heart of Srimati Radharani in her triumphs over Krishna. Right? And they're, by the ropes of love and affection, they're pulling him back to, who's in a stunned, ecstatic condition. And what we talked about the other day, G-force. There's at the speed of infinite, the pastimes are in Dwaraka, right? But the pull of the love and affection of Radharani and Brajagopis of Dwaraka, that's the G-force. And what happens in G-force? Transformation, right? The pull, that's what it is. So, when we just heard recently that after the Rath Yatra, where Mahaprabhu is expressing the heart of Srimati Radharani, we're told the Udanda Nritya, sometimes leaping high up, the Madhura Nritya, swaying sweetly and playing out this song of separation before Jagannath Krishna, and Tandava Nritya, the mad, ecstatic dance of devastation, right? That into the garden, after so much dancing, exhaustion, it's one infinite, eternal pastime transitions into another. And so when you say, what are the other devotees doing during that time? Ecstatic things. But there's Pratap Purudra Maharaj massaging the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Because we're told, it's interesting, Kaviraj Goswami is always saying, if you listen carefully to these pastimes, what will you achieve? Chaitanya Charan, the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. There's Pratap Purudra Maharaj massaging the lotus feet, Chaitanya Charan, singing Gopi Gita, Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmasha Abham, Sravana Mangalam Srimadattatam, Bhuvi Grananti Te, Buridajana. Saying the talking about Krishna is life-giving, life-saving nectar. Just think, the world of mortality. Right? Suddenly the world discovered they were mortal woke up one morning and discovered everybody was mortal on the same day. Right? Saying, so in that world of mortality, we can hear so many things that can grab your faith, your attention, that rapt attention, and distract you from and fill us full of fear and the anxiety of impending mortality. Right? And what are we told? That Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivana, the topics about you, Krishna, Brajagopi Sena, they're life-giving nectar. And the relief, give us relief from the suffering of material existence. You know, Sravana Mangalam, just hearing about you, that's the beginning of all auspiciousness. And anyone who's ever come in connection with the Krishna consciousness movement can thank the day that they first heard the divine sound Krishna, the holy name of Krishna, and heard about Krishna. And I think everyone can remember that. The first time a devotee told them they heard the sound Krishna and about Krishna. The Sravana Mangalam, Srimadattatam, and you know, your heart becomes a treasure chest of divine wealth with this full of this substance by the grace of Guru and Vaishnava. Right? Srimadattatam, Bhuvi Grananti Te Buridajana. And those in this world who are distributing this, they're the saviors, the real altruists, humanitarians. What's the soul correspondent to a humanitarian? There may not be one, but that, you know, if humanitarian means, you know, from the service of humanity, well, you know, divine service to everyone. So Mahaprabhu was, you're giving this, and you're giving this to me, and he said, I'm unable to repay you, to remunerate you, how do you say, equally, commensurately, and all I can do is embrace you. So he was massaging the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Charan, and now he's in the embrace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? But after that, they continue on and to Gundicha, and then we're told, what do we hear next really? Is that they're celebrating the Hera Panchami. That is written about extensively. The return of Mahaprabhu from Gundicha is a line. And all it says is, that they're happily doing it. And everyone say, how can they happily do that? Basically everything they do happily, you know, in a state of ecstasy. It's their pastime. So, so that Hera Panchami, this is what I'm trying to say. This is a line, right? And the Hera Panchami is extensive. To what shall we focus upon or give our attention to? And we may say, well, there are parts of what's described there that we cannot discuss, but in Parayan or continuous reading, we do. But what is wonderful there is we're told, so, and the sweetness of this pastime comes through to us, that Jagannath it's as if he's feeling homesick for Vrindavan, and the goddess of fortune representing his Dwaraka wives is saying, like, if she's wondering about this or has any suspicion, he's saying, I'm taking Baladev and Subhadra, like, my brother and little sister, we're, so to alleviate any suspicions, because hearing about this childhood sweetheart Radharani and her girlfriends, but so with actually like Baladev and Subhadra and cover, and we're told also how did they get those forms? In contact with the G-force of Jagannath, and his ecstatic transformation is infused into them, and they've become ecstatically transformed. So the three of them, they're going back to Vrindavan. But really, Jagannath has something very specific in mind. But we're told with Hera Panchami, few days have passed, and the goddess of fortune is becoming suspicious. Like, this is becoming drawn out, too much time, and she's feeling neglected. And interestingly, what's described there, just objectively speaking, is there some like a procession, an observable procession before everyone? Because what we see described by Kaviraj Goswami is real-time live stream Leela. That's what Mahaprabhu and his Antaranga Bhaktas are observing. So, as not everyone could see at towards the latter part of the Rath Yatra, when Nityananda Prabhu sees that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing the form of Srimati Radharani. He's Radha Bhavaduti Subalita, enveloped in her heart and halo. Now he's actually showing her form. And Nityananda keeps his distance, because if he comes before Mahaprabhu, he'll have to give that up. So he's astonished to see this himself. Nityananda is astonished by what but he's maintaining some distance to allow for the continuance of that. With what eyes is that to be seen? Right. So the goddess of fortune feeling neglected, and we're told unpredictably, rather than neglecting herself and feeling morose, she has this particular type of bhav that's caused her to dress herself and as opulently as possible, carried on a palanquin, unparalleled opulence, surrounded by dancing girls, singers, attendants, and they come and start demanding that Jagannath present himself, Krishna. And they're beating the chariot and arresting the servitors of Jagannath, abusing them, mocking them mercilessly. And the best thing they can say in response is that we give you our guarantee, Jagannath will return soon. So, but we're told, seeing all of this, that Mahaprabhu and his devotees, it says, they cover their mouths and they're smiling. They find this so charming. Right? This is what is being emphasized. And then Mahaprabhu asked Swarup Damodar, why is the goddess of fortune so upset? And it's Swarup Damodar saying, well, because she feels some neglect from her beloved. But what is this display? Well, it's very unusual, because normally when a lady is neglected by her lover in this way. She's morose, not dressing nicely, scratching her finger on the ground. And here, we've never seen anything like this. And then Mahaprabhu was saying, but why is she so upset? I mean, Jagannath, he's faultless, right? He hasn't done anything wrong. He said, well, because she cannot, or why doesn't she join in? He's saying she cannot join into these pastimes. They are exclusive to Radharani and Brajagopi. And he uses the word adhikar. He says, Lakshmi Devi does not possess the adhikar to enter. And again, I'm saying, so here in this pastime, lest we think these are anecdotes or stories. So what are we being told? The goddess of fortune doesn't have the adhikar to enter there. So can someone think that they do? Who might be less than the Lakshmi Devi? Madness. Delusion, delusional, hallucination, fictitious devotion. Right. So Sruvdam is saying, Lakshmi Devi doesn't. And what do we hear in the Bhagavatam from the wives of Kaliya? Kasyanu bhavosya chadeva vidmahe tavangrenu sparashadikara yadvanchana Sri means goddess Lakshmi. Lalanacharatapo vihaya kaman suchiram vichenvam. Yeah. Suchitam vichenvam. She tried for lifetimes executing austerities in the Tapovan to enter there and could not. When Mahaprabhu was on his South Indian tour and meets Venkatabhatta, and they have their talks during Chaturmasya for so many months, and one day Mahaprabhu says, why does your Lakshmi want to have rasa with my Krishna? He's Sri Sampradaya, Lakshmi Narayan, Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu. He said, why your Lakshmi wants to have rasa with my Krishna? He said, well, Siddhantically speaking, Narayan and Krishna, they're the same, but Krishna's specialty is rasa, so if the goddess of fortune desiring rasa, that's the specialty of the Lord in this aspect, represented in Krishna, and what's the harm there? Mahaprabhu said, oh, good answer. But why is she not given entrance then? If what you say is true, why is she not allowed to enter there? And not only that, but Veda Stutis, the personified Vedas, the Dandakaranya Rishis, the Yagyasitas, they get entrance. And then Venkatabhatta realized this is not tark, vitark, argument, counter-argument kind of thing. Mahaprabhu is upgrading him to his Krishna conception from that line. And so, and he's saying, giving example that Rupa Goswami, so also how marvelously this is weaved in the Charitamritam. These are slokas from Rupa Goswami's writings. So Mahaprabhu's speaking this. Kaviraj Goswami is recording this. He's saying, and he gives the verse, what is that? Gopi nam pashupendra nandana jusho bhavasta tam kriti. That to play a trick on the Braja Gopis, Krishna showed, he hid himself in a kunja, and then they're madly searching for him, as they do. They think they see Krishna, they come, and he pushes out two more arms and appears to be Vishnu, Narayan. And the verse ends on Ragodaya Kunchate. Their hearts are crushed and they can't conceal their disappointment. In the presence of Narayan, they're disappointed. So what is Gopi Bhav? What is in the hearts of the Braja Gopis? And they're asking him, you're Narayan, you're omniscient, you know everything, can you tell us where is Krishna? So the reason he mentions that is to say, so you're saying the goddess of fortune is sometimes interested to enter into the Rasa Leela of Krishna and couldn't get interest, and here are the Braja Gopis in the presence of Narayan and they have no interest. So if what you were saying was was to be understood about this, then these two things would not exist. Right? And then Venkatabhatta realizing, all right, I'm way beyond my depth here, like infinite depth, and Mahaprabhu said, but don't think offensively of the Braja Gopis, Lakshmi, Sahasra Satrasam Brahma Sevyama. They are Lakshmi Devis as well. Right? So, anyway, so Swarup Damodar, he's explaining, and then we're told this sort of conversation is so delightful and tasteful to Mahaprabhu that he wants to hear more about it. Well, what are you say, never seen a mood like that. Well, what are the different sort of moods and attitudes? And then Swarup Damodar, who is the expert, gives something we can't discuss, but as we say, it's there, it will be read, and continuous reading, and it's this beautiful description of all the different types of moods, attitude of these divine servitors of Krishna, and to the delight of Krishna, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all of his devotees. But then we're told Srivas Thakur, he wanting to squeeze out some more of this nectarine juice, you could say. He's prodding and pushing and saying, oh, look at the opulence of the goddess of fortune, unparalleled Vaikuntha display, Aishwarya. He said, it doesn't make sense to her that why would Jagannath, considering all of the opulence of the Vaikuntha world, I mean, she's Lakshmi Devi, and that world, that realm they live in has unparalleled opulence. What's the charm of this garden, basically, this village with flowers and cows and trees, and it doesn't make any sense, right? Because it's beyond rational. So when Srivas Thakur says this, he's asking Swarup Damodar, so how can we understand? It makes no sense for Jagannath to be attracted to this place and leave the unparalleled opulence of Vaikuntha for that. To which Mahaprabhu is telling him, oh, Srivas, be careful what you say. Swarup Damodar, Aishwarya, that's not a word in his dictionary. He doesn't, And Swarup Damodar, no, I have another concept. But I'm thinking that, and Mahaprabhu had also told him, he said, you seem to be in an Aishwarya Bhav kind of like Narada mood, which is also mildly humorous considering he is Narada, right? But in Gaur Leela is Srivas Thakur. So he's the perfect person actually to express these things. But he wants to hear Swarup Damodar come out, who's concealing himself. All the great devotees, just the opposite. They're concealing who they are and what they have. But under certain circumstances it comes out. Mukunda singing brought out Pundarik Vidyanidhi. This prodding of Srivas Thakur brings out Swarup Damodar. And he's saying, Srivas, have you lost your mind? Don't you understand? The combined opulence of the unlimited Vaikunthas and Dwarka are not equivalent to a drop of what's in the 16 kroshas or 50 square kilometers of the plain known as Goloka Vrindavan. So think about that. It transcends rational thought. The universes in general are 1 billion by 1 billion. Pick your metric. Right? 1 billion by, and there are innumerable universes. That's the Jagadanda, the mundane world of its innumerable universe. And we're told that is a small portion, right, in the spiritual sky of the unlimited Vaikuntha world. And each Vaikuntha planet is 1 billion by so, and there are innumerable Vaikunthas. Right? Each one, a Lakshmi and Narayan on every one. Then superior to Vaikuntha, Ayodhya, but here in this case we're going to go to Dwaraka. So he's saying the combined opulence of all these and Vaikunthas and Dwaraka are an equivalent to a drop there. So again, in Charitamrita we find in this plane of human-like dimensions, right, the central conception of the infinite, the golden mean of the infinite. Krishnera Jateka Kela Sarvatam Naralila Narvaputara Swarup Gopavesh Venukar Navakishore Natavar Naralila Hoyanurup. Brahman, Paramatma, central conception, Bhagawan, all attractive, charming, human-like dimensions and pastimes. Arjun, whatever you conceive of the infinite, ekang stena stito jagat. It's an atomic nothing to me. Let me know when you've had enough. Right? So, but in that plane, that means you can take the unlimited, innumerable material universes, the innumerable Vaikuntha lokas, and the opulence of Dwaraka, and it's in a particle of the soil of Goloka Vrindavan. And remember, Mahaprabhu at this part had just come back from South India. We mentioned that tour. Well, he had returned. What did he bring with him? 2 books. Krishna Karnamritam and Brahma Samhita. Apparently Swarup Damodar read them. More than read them. Could write them. You know. Guru Maharaj said once, those who say, there are some people who say, actually Mahaprabhu wrote the Brahma Samhita. Guru Maharaj said, if that's true, its value just increased. Right? It's not less authoritative than it would be more. But because they say, it so perfectly supports his conception that he must have written it. They say that about Prema Vibhar. It so perfectly and conclusively supports Gaudiya Mat, Bhaktivinoda Thakur must have written it. But, so then he uses 2 verses from there to make his point. Saying, what is it? Shreya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpa Taravo Druma Bhumis Chintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Kathaganam Natyagamanam Priya Bangshi Priya Saki Chidananda Jyoti Puram Api Aswadam Apicha. Saying the Sri, that means Lakshmi. They're Lakshmi. Sri Akanta Kanta Parama Purusha. There's these, the Lakshmis known as gopis are there. And their pastimes with Krishna are the Kalpadruma, the Kalpavriksha, desire tree. So all the trees are desires tree. But we should not think that means like, oh, any desire you have, that'll be fulfilled. Well, this is a plane, as Guru Maharaj said, referencing the Shikshastakam, Ai Nanda Tanunja Kinkaram Pati, that once first pray to be an atom to have an atomic presence in that plane. He said, but once that wish is granted by the magic wand of the lotus feet of Krishna, the transformation, he said, then unlimited desires to serve. It's another, so when you say the wish-fulfilling tree, I mean, these devotees have unlimited service aspirations. And those trees are supplying the paraphernalia necessary for their service. So many times. What do they have there? Some trees, fruits, flowers. Then, and what is the soil? Chintamani Gunamoyi. The soil of that world. You know, Chintamani, Prakara Sadmasu, Kalpa Vriksha, Lakshavrateshu, Surabhi Abhi Palyantam, Lakshmi Sahasrasata Sambrahma Sevyamanam. Prabhupada sang that so many times and quoted it so many times. So the soil is Chintamani gems. And then Toyam Amritam, and the water there is nectar. Right? The water is Amritam. And Kataganam Natyaganam, all speech is song, all movement is dance. Right? And Krishna's there with his forever present friend, the flute. Right? And light has form, divine form, Jyoti, Jyoti Rupam. But we should remind everyone, keep going a few verses and it'll say, and this plane is very rarely achieved by the most fortunate soul. Very rarely achievement to enter there. Remember that, because I'll come back to that. So, first, that's his first response. He said, and, as I said, Chintamani Gunamoyi, that the soil's made out of Chintamani gems. So, one of these Chintamani gems has more opulence than the sum total of Vaikunthas and Dwaraka. Right? And what do we find? Then Karnamritam. Chintamani's charanabhushanam angananam Sringara pushpa tarabas suranam Vrindavanam brajadanam nanu kamadenu Vrindani cheti sukhasindur ho vibhuti. Oh, what opulence is there! That one of those Chintamani gems that possesses more opulence than the unlimited Vaikunthas and Dwarka, the Braja Gopis are stringing them and wearing them as ornaments on their lotus feet. And this is what Srivas Thakur wanted the world to know. So he teased Swarup Damodar to bring the Shuddha Brajbasi in him out, that he had to express these things. And then he's dancing around and all the devotees are cheering and supremely happy. Right? This is given such description. Right? So that should be our focus. But that said, still, then Kaviraj Goswami will say to the readers, so if you are fortunate enough to hear these divine pastimes with faith, devotion, some love, affection, saying, then you will attain the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when he reaches the end of the Madhya Leela, he's saying these pastimes of Mahaprabhu, they're so wonderful and so relishable by the Paramahansa-like devotees. We said they're like swans and they're like a forest of lotus flowers, and the great devotees are like swans and chakravirds entering there and diving deep into them. So, but he draws a contrast at the conclusion between Krishna Lila and Gaur Lila. Krishna Lilamrita Sar Tar Shata Shatadar Das Dike Bahi Jaha Hoite Se Chaitanya Lila Hoy Sarovara Akshoy Manasa Hangsa Chara Ha Tahate. Saying Krishna Lila is the creme de la creme of nectarine substance. And what did I say to remember?
Which is rare to achieve.
Yes. So it's reserved for the highest section of liberated souls. Remember, even Sukadev, he's in a very cautious way presenting this to the mixed assembly, whose minds are astonished to hear about the Madhura Rasa pastimes of Radha and Krishna and the Braja Gopis. Especially considering that in the beginning of the book, you said religion was the condemnable thing. Now you're telling us the condemnable thing is the new religion. Hare Krishna. So it's reserved for the Paramahansa Vaishnavas, who can extract the essence. The superficial external aspects do not deter them, dissuade them, distract them. They extract the sar, the cream. Right? So he's telling the readers, this is what the great devotees do. And he's imploring his readers to do the same. And so, that Krishna Lila, which is reserved for the highest section of liberated souls, he's saying, so then what is Chaitanya Lila? So then consider this. He's saying, Krishna Lila is like the impossible of impossible achievements. It's so rare. Read the end of the Brahma Samhita. Right? Saying, so in a sense you can think, what hope do we have to enter there? Really? He's saying, but what is Gaura Lila? The magnanimous distribution of Krishna Lila. Das Dike, the 10 directions, means regardless of qualified, unqualified, high, low, Mahaprabhu. This is the Mahavadanaya avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So he's saying that is what distinguishes Gaura Lila. Darja Lila. Krishna Lila's Madhurja, and here's the magnanimous distribution of that highest divine substance. So, my dear, readers, please let the swan of your mind dive into the lotus flowers, of these pastimes. And he's saying what is the great devotees who are relishing this? Their remnants will nourish you. Like we say, one of the Eshai Goshai Jart Mui Tarodas Tansabara Pada Mora Panjagras. We're nourishing ourselves on these substances. So, and Srila Guru Maharaj and the conclusion of the Prapanna Jivanamritam, which Gurudev said with his favorite sloka, that it says Sri Srimad Bhagavatam Buddha Madhu Shvarotsavai Shatpadai Nikipta Madhubindavascha Parito Gunjitai Yatne Kinchid Iha Hritam Nidriparo Sreyortina Tanmaya Bhuyo Bhuyaito Rajangsi Padasam Lagnani Te Shambhaje. Right? Saying that what I've collected here, the great devotees, they're like bees, and they're they're like bees drinking this honey and this nectar, and while they're relishing it, tasting it, like Madstitag Madgata Pranat Bodha Katayan Tastamam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. So they're relishing it, they're also humming, which means they're engaged in kirtan, when it's so maddening that they have to distribute. Right? So relishing, distributing, then some drops are falling from them. Right? And I'm capturing those drops, and that's what I'm presenting to you. So a very similar thing Kaviraj Goswami is saying there. And so he's saying this is what should nourish the devotees. And what he's saying is being open to everyone. Just an interesting side point is that we could say in Goloka Vrindavan, right, Lakshmi Devi, she can't enter there because of Gopi Bhav, you need Gopi Bhav, Gopi Deho. You can't enter in this Aiswarja aspect. But we notice in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, remember they have singing and dancing at the Radha. Many groups are there. From some of the ones from Vrindavan are for many different groups. And they have water pastimes also, many different groups. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, so many are there. So it's so sweet to show in this way, it's being extended to the lowest, but actually everyone is participating here and relishing this divine substance. So Kaviraj Goswami is humbly imploring the readers to nourish themselves this way. But then he gives a caution, and he says, if you don't, what will be the outcome? He said, just as men maintain their bodies and become strong and stout by eating food grains and the food of this world. He said, but if you neglect your internal self by not imbibing the nectarine pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so things will happen. You will become, to beware of. The pitfall of false arguments, that means the sides of things in this world, the pitfall, it's false argument without everything here. Dvaita, Bhadra, Bhadra Gyan, Sab Manodharm, A Balo, A Manda, A Sab Brahm. It's a mistake to say this is good, this is bad. It's all insubstantial. It's all a mistake, a delusion. So he's saying, so if you don't nourish yourself with this divine substance and are only imbibing these things, then it's the pitfall of false argument, and he says, and the whirlpool of unfortunate situations. Right. And then he begins the Antya-lila, right? Which he told from the beginning, like, this, I want to express these things, and I hope that I live long enough to do that. So this comes at the conclusion of the Madhya-lila, and then the very thing that he wanted to fully express, he's reached that position. And so Madhya-lila concludes, Antya-lila begins there. Hare Krishna. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Satara Sada Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Rupanu Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Jiu Ki Jai. Rup Sanatan Bhata Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopal Bhata Das Raghunath. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Basari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Sri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishva Varenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bimala Vidut Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Sri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Sri Paramananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Priya Didi Ki Jai. Seva Vrinda ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Jai Mission Bhakti Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. And Maharaj,
Yes.
Dandavats from Gaura Shakti Prabhu, Leela Sundari, Adelaide, Australia, Ajita Krishna Prabhu, Russia, Dhananjaya Prabhu, Russia, Rasananda Prabhu, Sochi, Suchitra Didi, Jai Govinda Prabhu, Krishna Sharan Prabhu, Sahadevi Didi, Rotim Prabhu, Russia, Kshama Buddhi Prabhu, Krishna Kanta Didi, Dhananjaya Prabhu, Italy, Kalyani Didi, Arjun Prabhu, Purushottam Prabhu, Salt Lake City, Anjali Didi, Vinitsa, Govindaland, Bhanavi Didi, Italy, Odarya Lila Didi, Hari Valappa Didi, Lavangalata Didi, Vanda Mishna, Rasheshwari Didi, Norway, then from Ashapurna Didi, Dandavats Maharaj, also Nityananda Prabhu. It is so nice to see your smile now without the mask. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavats from Doel Nitai, Brazil. Dandavats to Maharaj and devotees from Kiev's forest. Ilya Kostuchenko. Unfortunately, I don't know his devotional name. And Alessandro Scantrino. Lila Sundar. Sorry, Dandavats. Alessandro Scantrino, Dandavats.
Hare Krishna.
Alessandro Scantrino.
Vanchakapatruvyascha kripa sindhu beva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnaveva namo namaha. Hare Krishna.